This is the Goode Show.
Open your envelope, see what your question is.
All right.
Now, when Paul did this to me, I was nervous because I thought, I don't know what's written on this piece of paper. And you're going to read it out loud and let us know what it is.
Okay. What is the most significant leadership lesson you learned from your military experience?
How long were you in?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Well, did you join because your brother was in, or what led you there?
Yeah. 2 brothers were SEALs. Me and my little brother wanted to be SEALs. Yeah, that's how I knew about it. We have that. We have a long history of service.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was in World War II. My dad served in the Navy, and his 2 brothers were in the Navy.
Oh, wow.
And then there's 6 boys in my family, and 5 of us served in the Navy.
Oh, now the 6th is
The
firefighter?
6th is a firefighter, the oldest.
Okay.
Greg. Yeah. He did some college and then went to be a firefighter right when 9/11 happened. I think he was a Pro B. I think he was going through training or just done with training when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
So way back. But Dave was in, and my other brother was already in the Navy
Okay.
at that point.
Now, is your other brother, because I don't think I've met your other brother. I know Dave, obviously. And
My little brother, you mean,
Yeah.
who's in the band?
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah.
Matt. Have I met Matt?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He lived with Dave for a long time. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
In San Diego, but he moves around now. He's in
Okay.
Nashville right now.
So, how long ago did you separate from the Navy?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Does it seem like 9 years, Mark, or do you sometimes look at it and think, man, that was just like yesterday?
It does seem like 9 years.
Yeah.
And I still work for the teams.
Oh.
As a civilian.
Uh-huh.
I work with land warfare,
Yeah.
the land warfare cell.
Is it important to you after separation? Was it important to you to still have that connectivity with your community? Was that something you needed? Was that just something you wanted? And yeah.
I didn't. I wanted a break.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to break away. I should say needed a break or anything.
Yeah.
I wanted to do music.
Yeah.
So I wanted to not have that.
That commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I was hesitant to take the job that I do.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, it's still with the teams. There's all this, I want you, your job says to do this, but we expect this, and this
Yes.
too. That's a big part of the teams, and that's good.
Yeah.
There's goodness in that, but I wasn't looking to
Yeah.
I wasn't even a thought. I was 30 years old, and it wasn't like, what do I need?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to go rock and roll. That's just...
Have you always wanted to go rock and roll?
Yes, but there was a time when I said, I really want to be a SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say I put that on hold, but really I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm choosing to go to Buds and go to the SEAL teams and see where that takes me. But on the path, the music just didn't go away. And then while I was in, I just almost dug in deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I almost needed it more, the music, while I was in, and I was kind of, I became convinced that, all right, I need to leave.
Mm-hmm. Now your brother's in the band as well, Matt.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Matt always? Is it there been some kind of musical element in the family? Yeah.
Well, between me and Matt, yeah. He picked up drums, I played guitar, and we started jamming together, and we had a connection as brothers do.
Mm-hmm.
That's very common even in rock and roll. It makes for a volatile band, but there's a lot of bands that are brothers,
Yeah.
or kids that grew up together even.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So back to your question now, as you post service, you're setting up the band with your brother. How does the leadership come into play? Or does it? I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's a difficult thing, I think, in a band, because just off the top of your head, you think of rock and roll, you think of a loose, lots of hanging out,
Yeah.
lots of
partying,
lots of creating and space, and you don't think of like leadership and what it takes to get there. But I'd say, coming right out of the teams, going into it, I took what I had learned in a platoon about drive and about setting up for a mission and about setting up for training or whatever you're doing. You're always constantly setting up for the next thing. I took that and I tried to implement that with the band. And some of that it helped us. That helped us in a big way, make a lot of strides, but there's difficulty in that too, because back to that rock and roll band thing, it was in my head like, these guys don't want to hear this. These guys don't want to get on board with that. So I had to convince them many times of certain aspects. On top of that, they really didn't want that. They wanted, I shouldn't try to like put it on them or anything, but that's a difficult thing in a rock and roll band, because there is partying. Yeah. There is like, I'm just here to make music and that's good. Yeah. You actually need a lot of space to make good music. You need a lot of creative space, probably to make anything good.
It sounds though, it's not like people, when I talk to people about leadership, I think sometimes people think leadership is somebody standing there above you telling you what to do. That's leadership. Now, that's not leadership to me, right. But I think sometimes people think that's what it is. And so when you put it to a rock band, it's not like you can say, okay, Matt, you're going to do this, and Fred, you're going to do this, and we're going to do it at 1600. Yeah. There's got to be some fluidity. I think that's the word. There's got to flow. There's got to be some flow with it.
I think there's plenty of references in music, in rock and roll. Like right off the bat, what comes to my mind is Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty. These are guys who are known to like lead bands, and there's friction in that within those bands, and it's well known. Like guys leave, part of the band breaks up or whatever, but they have a vision and they're driving that. So they are leaders. Yeah. Right. So it's there in rock and roll, and I definitely say I looked to a lot of that. It's not an easy thing to make work, like that leadership role in a rock and roll band. Yeah. A constant mutiny. Constant mutiny.
Now, how did you get, first of all, okay, name of the band?
Electric Mud.
Okay. How many people in the band?
4 at times, 5, but really always 4.
How did you find the other 2?
Well, when we started the band in New York before the Navy, we had 2 of my brother's buddies that he grew up with in Staten Island. Okay,
hang on a minute. So you had Electric Mud in New York. So, oh, wow. Okay, I thought you had just started it in San Diego. So this has been going on for a while. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
It stayed alive while we were in. Yeah. We'd fly the other guys out to San Diego. We played at my bud's graduation. Yeah. We always shared the songs. And people always dug it. And then while I was in, those other 2 guys were on different paths, while we were in the Navy. So it was clear, like, well, we couldn't like do it in that form. Yeah. And we met the other dude. He served on a ship with Matt Colton, who became the other guitarist. And then my cousin came out. Oh. From Connecticut. He had just finished college, and he came out, and we fired it up that way.
Wow. So when you mention, earlier on you said about, it's a constant mutiny and sometimes it's volatile. Now you've got your cousin and you've got your brother and yourself. I mean, I've worked in a family business and it's hard. because you take it home, it's your brother, it's your mom, it's whatever, it's, you know, how do you put that line there? And was there a line? Was it ever a case of, okay, listen, guys, I know we're related, but this is a business. We've got to have a business mindset. Or do you just kind of know it as you go and figure it out as you go?
I think that's back to that like difficulty in a rock and roll band of that kind of leadership role. Any kind of coming up with a plan can be difficult.
No.
I had my first child the month I got out of the Navy. So as I transitioned to this part of my life, I started having a family. And so there was, hey, I'm doing the family thing today, or hey, we're doing, you know, I got to make this work. You got to make tours you're trying to do work. I wound up bringing my wife and kids. I had planned out this whole tour in 2019, and it was great. And then we had a conversation with my wife right before I left, and I could see, like, I was like, all right, what's going to happen in the first week? We're going to have a big argument, and then we're not going to be able to patch it up. I'm going to be gone for over a month.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't you come with me? And she did not want to come.
Oh, wow.
And we had 2 kids at the time. And she came, like, and I took the minivan with my kids and the 15-passenger van that I had. Van, you guys take it. Just make sure you're, you know, to whatever city we need to be in.
Wow.
And we rolled like that. And it was
rough. What did she think about it when she, you know, went on tour with you?
She was not loving it,
yeah.
But she's a rock star herself. So she handled business. When we got back, you know, I can remember her like with a little laugh, but like angry, like, don't ever ask me to do that again. You know, like, I hate you kind of. But yeah, we got through it.
I want to go back to, you just said to me that you separated from the military, and within then a month later you had a baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that, because you've just left the military after, you know, how many years you said?
6.
6 years. Do you feel that during those 6 years there was some element of conditioning taking place? And then you leave and now all of a sudden you got a baby and now you're a dad and you're a musician. Yeah. And part of being that musician, you're also a business person.
Yeah.
You know, how do you manage all of that? How does that come together for you?
Balance. I learned a lot in the military. Like, I learned a lot of lessons, learned a lot of hard lessons, saw good leadership, saw bad leadership. By the time I was done with my 6 years, like I said, I was 30, time to mature, right? Like 20s are over. And it was good, ripe time to have my first child, I guess. And it's a learning experience. It is. Like, the crazy thing is when you have kids, you think about your parents and you thought they knew everything, or you thought they had, like, this was how they were and they were solid, but you realize, like, they were young adults trying to figure it out and doing the best they can.
Yes, same as you. Yeah, same as me. Same as we don't think of it like that.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think my kids now, Jake's 21. And I know he looks at Goode and, like, Goode's got all the answers. And 9 times out of 10, he's got, you know, the answers. But it's still, there's no parenting book. You know, you just don't know, because you just don't know your kids.
Yeah.
You know, with their personalities.
Right.
Let's go back to Electric Mud. I want to hear all about it. So you started it in New York. You picked it back up after your service. Where have you been going and how have you been growing with it? And what kind of music is it?
It's rock and roll. It's originals. Mm-hmm. We're into the Stones. We're into Tom Petty, Dylan, like the classic stuff. And it's been a wild ride. I mean, now 9 years since I got out. We were push, going hard till about COVID time. We had some friction in the band anyway. At that time, couldn't do anything. We had an album in the works. We finished that. And then in 2021, we played some shows when everything started coming back online. But we had all spread out.
Yeah.
One guy's a lineman in Santa Cruz. One guy's in Montana doing music therapy. My brother's moved around a lot. So we would get together here and there to record. And we'd get together for certain shows. But the thing that's hard now, when we started out, we practiced every day. You know, like the lessons from the band you always heard about, like you got to be in the room every day. You got to practice all day. You got to get your set down. You got to keep writing new songs. Then as things came back online after COVID, now we're all separate. So is it going to be worth it to get together? You're talking about a business. It's like, oh, we can't just like get together. The show's got to pay enough for us to all come together and do the show. We've got to have time to rehearse. We got to get a rehearsal space, or where are we doing this? And we've done that from time to time. And then if you get a good solid rehearsal in, that could set you up for a few months of shows, even if you're not together playing all the time. But figuring those things out has been the main thing. The easiest thing is to be able to get in a room and create new music, because then you can lay down tracks, get some good takes, and then me and my brother can say, work on that over time, putting new stuff on it, putting vocals down, and then releasing that. And that's kind of where we're at.
Do you have an agent? Like, how do you get these gigs and things like that? Do you you go get them yourself?
Up until, through 2019, I had gotten someone who was helping me. A lot of it was through me. She was getting some gigs for us. Wasn't any like documented thing. But I would pay her and she would get some gigs, especially the out of town gigs.
Yeah.
Here in town, me and my brother were always working on that, building on the last show, asking for a little more money, timing our shows.
Are you good at asking for first of all, because I find a lot of business people that I talk to, when it comes to money, people don't like to talk about money. People get uncomfortable. People don't want to ask for money. Money is a strange thing. And I always say to people, look, food ain't going to appear for free.
Yeah.
So, you've got to negotiate, or you've got to ask for what you feel you're worth or whatever. Do you, the first time you had to ask for money to be paid for a gig, was that awkward, or are you good with that? Or is it just like, hey man, you got to pay me?
Yeah, no, it never was really awkward. The first shows, it's like the standard for a lot of these bars is the entry level bars, say around town. Every town has these where they are just trying to get live music a lot, and they'll give you $300 to $400 if you're lucky. $300 was kind of like the standard around San Diego for the night, and they'd expect you to play for 4 hours.
Wow.
And it, but it just is what it is. And we were like, all right, well, whatever. We'll call all our friends, figuring out our social media stuff and making posters and pumping it out. And so that was kind of their standard as far as money goes. It'd be like, this is what we can pay you. Then as we play more, and they would love us because our fans all drank. And it was a good time, and it's good time music, rock and roll. It's upbeat and whatnot. So we'd get the feedback. We'd know they liked us, and then we'd ask for a little more. Some of those places, they just don't really offer that much. So then you move on to the next spot and you say, hey, I played at all these places.
Yeah.
Can I play here? And they'll offer you the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you play the shows and you show that you brought people and they're drinking, then you're asking for some more money. It was very like a very obvious progression in that way around San Diego. And I had talked to a producer, Don Was. He's like big time producer. He produced all the Stones stuff up until their most recent album. And I got a conversation with him, and he told me in 2015 or 16, he was like, don't bother with touring. You don't need to tour. Get 1,000 true fans in your area. And if you could do that there, then you could do it anywhere.
Yeah.
And that will be seen and that will be known. So that was the goal. But we also said, okay, every band has to tour a little bit.
Yeah.
So we would kind of be like, all right, let's condense it. Let's try to do one little tour every year and we'll push out and we'll build that up. But that was not our focus. Our focus was San Diego and then, pushing into LA.
Have you gone into LA?
Yeah, we've played gigs. We played a bunch of gigs in LA, but there it's like you're bottom dollar again.
Yeah. LA is just a weird place. We just went off the Military Veteran Entertainment Awards, which I need to connect you to because I think that would be good. And LA is just a different place.
Yeah, it's different. And it's big too, sprawling.
Yeah. Me and Kimmy it took us over an hour to go like 8 miles, 7 lanes of traffic, all gridlock. And I'm like, who would want to be doing this on a commute home, But yeah, I mean, we bumped into a couple of people at the Veterans Entertainment Awards, bands, singers, or they're doing something creative. And they said the same thing, like LA is one of those places where it's so big, you've got to rebrand almost, even though it's just up the road. Yeah. You've got to start rebranding again in LA, which to me is bizarre, but hey, it's LA, La La Land.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's where, a lot of the music is LA and Nashville.
Now, did you hear, though, that in South Bay, they are building some multi-million-dollar studio?
Oh, a studio?
Yes. It's meant to be $85 million invested.
Wow.
And it's from somebody from La La Land, apparently. It's going to be near the waterfront. It's definitely down in South Bay area. It's a podcast studio, recording studio. I think they're doing maybe movie things in there as well. So, yeah, I think it's projected to open over the next couple of years. But they were saying that because LA, I'd heard is kind of like, it's dying a little bit, that they were just some people were looking to expand, and South Bay seems to be the area to expand to.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that. I thought I had heard something about like a resort over there. But.
Well, every resort needs music.
Yeah. That's interesting though, that, they say it's dying, because I know that I have one buddy who does film, and he is from Tulsa. He's from Oklahoma. He moved back there. He's in Tulsa now. And he's been saying he's opening up a studio there and saying how a lot of the movie industry and entertainment industry is moving out of California because of the laws and everything that are just not good for business.
Yeah. And he's in the movie industry.
Yeah. Yep.
Veteran.
Yep.
He's definitely somebody then I want to connect,
sure.
To the entertainment awards, because a lot of veterans at the weekend they were doing their documentary awards.
Yep.
And all veterans and some active duty guys that are and gals that have made short movies, long movies. They were all up there. It's become an annual event up there. So I'll definitely get you and your friend connected because it'd be a good gig.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And actually, they had it. Kim was telling me earlier on, she watched a movie last night and she went, I'm watching this movie and I'm looking at this guy and I thought, we know him. And it was Nate Boyer. He's a Green Beret.
Okay.
Right? Nate, I'm giving you a shout out now. Okay. But yeah, he's part of it as well. And where did you watch the movie?
It was on TV, like, because I don't have cable in my room, so I get, like, the regular channel. So it was on Bounce. Whatever. Bounce Network.
Okay.
And it was called MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
It was about Nate.
About a veteran that has PTSD, and he was in the NFL.
Oh.
And
now,
he was in the NFL.
Now that she has mentioned PTSD, I mean, this is totally off the beaten track here. I want to ask you, do you have PTSD?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, it strikes me because your brother, and my husband, I mean, you are all of the same kind of mode. It's all just, that's your mode, you know? So, and Goode is, you know, I mean, when Goode retired, I said to Goode, I said, am I going to wake up in the bed at some point and you're trying to strangle me or something, you know? He's like, I doubt it, you know? And a lot of people will say to me, since he operated for 30 years, what's his mental state of mind? And again, Goode to this day is just, you know, and it sometimes I ask the question, it's not a fair question to ask. Have some people seen or experienced the worst of the worst compared to, say, maybe Goode? You know, and that's the reason why, or is it wiring that some people, it's amplified, you know, it's worse for some people than it is for others? Because I just watched that, actually Kim watched that documentary the other day that's on Netflix about you know, everybody going to Mexico and doing stuff and stuff like
and stuff.
Yes. Now, somebody asked me to go to ayahuasca. And I watched a little video of it, and I thought, nah, I'm sorry. I'll live with my demons.
It's wild.
Yeah. But it's refreshing. No, refreshing isn't the word. It's fucking amazing that most of the team guys that operated with Goode or at that time, even though they went through whatever they went through, most of them that I see today are good.
Yeah.
I think they're good, you know. So I always ask people, do you think it's affected you? I know it's a very macho thing where, I mean, it may be affecting Goode, I don't know. But, you know, the machismo part of him is like, I'm good, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know? Do you ever look back and think, of what you've done? And does it kind of like make you, are you good with it?
Yeah, my experience, my experience wasn't as crazy as some, but I know, you know, your husband and my brother, you know, saw plenty of things, crazy things. But, you know, when you say, is it wiring, you know, is it what they experienced? I think there's a lot of guys who battle.
Yeah.
Deep. Obviously, we keep losing guys to suicide all the time. I get texts all the time.
That's terrible. That statement in itself.
Yeah.
That you get texts all the time. That really breaks my heart because we both probably know the same people, you know, but it blows my mind really as to how that can be.
I don't know. I think it's a little of, I think it's some of both. There's experiences that really drive some of that pain and suffering. And there is wiring, I think, too. I think a lot of guys deal with like a form of anxiety when they say get out. I think a lot of guys do. That comes from, in a big way, from you always had a clear purpose, mission, whatever it is. The military provides that in a big way. You're part of the service. You're recognized as part of the service. You're, and your job has a mission. And when you lose that, you got to kind of redefine that or figure that out for yourself. And there's plenty of guys who I think they don't wind up with the tools to do that, or they don't get the help quick enough. And the rabbit hole could happen quick. I don't know. I mean, there's no end all answer.
Yeah.
But
purpose is the word, though. You mentioned purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize that word would be so important post service. You know, because I think, to your point, I've met quite a few guys in your community and outside that the purpose is not there anymore. And like you said, the military provides that purpose for you. You, on the other hand, you loved music before. You kind of you knew that was the road you were going to travel. Even though it's a difficult road, isn't it?
It is. And to further that, where you're going with that, it actually, although it seemingly, all right, that's my purpose. I'm getting out of the military. I'm going for this. I know the road I want to take. It's difficult in a creative space like that, because purpose, what's your purpose now? Oh, I just decided I want to play music. And then if you come, I mean, I dealt with that for a few years coming out. It's like, I still deal with that. Like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because you have this inside your soul and you're like, I need to go for it. But like, where's the service? Like, what am I providing? You know, is this all about me? Am I like just getting off on this? And you know, I got a wife, I got kids.
But do you know what you're providing? Do you know what your music provides? I mean, that in itself, I mean, you got to know that the release people must feel, well, the joy.
Yeah, but that's the interesting thing is, if you're doing it for others in that sense, and this is everywhere you go, every workshop you do, every, you know, leadership course you take or whatever, you find your why.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing for mankind and all this? And it's like, well, if people don't really know you and listen to you, then what are you providing for mankind? I mean, then what the goal is? Yeah, the dream is always to play in a arena to people who know your songs. Like that's the, you know, Tom Petty, the Stones, like, you know, you're not doing that. Years pass by and now I'm making albums. I'm self-funding everything. You know, each one costs more than the next because you're stepping it up. What are you doing it for? So what are you providing for people? Because, you know, who listens to you? So what are you doing? So do I need to go do something else? Because do you see where I'm going with that?
I do.
It's not as easy even as that. Like, what's my why? Yeah. Because success needs to come to like, to show it in that way. Yeah. If it's bigger than me. Yeah. And then you come back even more and you're like, is this really my purpose? Yeah. I can 100% understand what you're saying, because I think to myself sometimes, okay, what are you doing, Surinder? You're doing this podcast, but what are you giving? You know, is anybody listening? Yeah.
And is anybody getting anything from it? You know, the only person that's getting something from it right now kind of thing is me, because like you, I get off on doing it.
Yeah.
But is that helping anybody else? So I understand exactly what you're saying. And it's very hard. Like when my husband asks me, why? I go, well, why not? You know, a typical wife answer, why not? But I don't. I think I know my answer, but it's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
Do you know your answer? Like, do you have an answer of what you're providing?
Yeah, I've come up with that.
Oh, good.
I'd say several times, but I'm not even going to say it
Okay.
because it's contrived. And you know,
Yeah.
I'd say I battle that all the time.
Yeah.
I get to the end of a project and I'm like, oh, maybe it's time. Like, all right, I released that. Like, it's done. Like, let me focus on, you know, trying to make more money or whatever. Focus on my family and like not worrying about this, but trickles in.
Yep.
The next project and the next songs just start putting themselves in my brain, and before I know it, I'm figuring out my plans to make the next project and how I'm going to make it all work. And then I say, I'll let my wife know, like, as it's going on, I'm like, here it is, you know, again, like maybe in January, I'll go in the studio here and I'll do this and I'll get some of these out. Maybe in December, I'll take a week and just like focus on writing so I can work these out. Like, there I am, like doing that.
But isn't that your creative brain doesn't stop, does it?
Right. And I that's why I got out of the military. I said, I see this thing in me.
Yeah.
I need to go let that be what it is. And it's meant to be. And then, you know, you're doing it and you're like, is it meant to be? Every other month, you're like, is this me? Or is this my soul and this is who I am? Or is it me and my brain telling myself, this is who I am, you need to do it?
Yeah. I've decided that I'm no longer going to psychoanalyze it. I am going to go with the feeling. Because for me, my feeling about what I'm doing, that's what I believe in. And again, I can't really say out loud my why, because, you know, like you said, it sounds a little off, but I've got to go with my gut. I've got to go with that belief, because to be honest with you, I really don't know what else I would be doing. I mean, if you weren't doing music, yes, I know you're on the peripheral within your community working kind of thing, but what else would you be doing, Mark?
So that's a good point. I have done, you got the GI Bill, right? I went to a year-long school at a studio to try and branch out into other aspects of the music business, learn everything from recording on up to producing, creating songs and all that. Everything reinforces songwriting, making music, producing. Yeah. Like, not very technical. All right. No jobs, nothing branching off from that. I'm at USC now in a MBA program.
Oh.
Yeah. So
where do you find time to do that?
These executive programs, they go every other weekend.
Okay.
You go up for a long session.
Oh, okay.
Tuesday night. This one is every other Saturday. You go up all day. Once in a while, they do a couple days in a row, block off time. And then every Tuesday night online, you have a class. Okay. And it's for people to continue working while they're getting this degree. But you know, I'm there saying, all right, good network. USC has a great network. It's renowned for that. and let me see what else I can do. But I'm only a couple months in, right? But I don't know. I just like I only thing I like my family life. I like hanging out with my family, but the only thing that I really love to do is make music. That's the only thing. Yeah. There's I like to run. I feel good when I run. Yeah. Not making any money on that. I don't run good enough for that. I like to make music. Yeah. I'm not making any money from that either. But
listen, you have got something, and I think I've got something, and there's a lot of us out there that have this thing where, okay, I'm not making any money now, right? You're not making any money, and there's a couple of people I know that aren't making money. But we are all enjoying doing what we're doing. And I know that doesn't put food on the table and it doesn't pay the bills. But somebody very recently, Kim, it might even have been you, that said to me, the most simplest thing in the world happiness is the most simple thing in the world. But so few of us have it. Yeah. And especially when you think we probably spend about 70 to 80% of your life is working. That's a big chunk of your life. And it gets very complicated when you're doing something that brings you happiness, but it's not bringing you in the monetary portion of it. Yeah. Because then you're in a quandary, especially... Yeah. Now, I'm going to say especially you because I'm old school and because you're the guy, you're the provider, the breadwinner in your family. That's just a summary I'm making. I don't know the truth. But for you, I can only imagine that, okay, you've got to provide, you've got to do this job, you're looking after your family, you need a bit of a life, and you want to make music. So that's got to be some pressure, stress that you carry because... in my mind, and I'm not the breadwinner in this house, but in my mind, I'm constantly thinking, okay, my plan now is for my 5-meter target. One is this, and then I get to my 5-meter target. And normally it's, okay, bring in a sponsor, and then you get to that 5-meter target and you're like, shit, okay. In my case, it's like, okay, shit, let's put in another 5-meter target, Yeah. But it's that pressure. It's the pressure of working for yourself. Yeah. In this field, because there isn't something like you give and they give you money, I've still got your CD. I'm just doing that. I just remember I've got your CD as well. I still got your CD and I have a CD player. But yeah, that just brain farted into my head. So that's got to be difficult for you, or are you quite good at handling that kind of stress of, okay, I've got to provide here, I've got to do this here, and I've got to get to that there, and this has got to happen too?
I'd say I'm really good at planning and strategic, thinking. And
then I'm sure your wife really, I don't want to use the word accommodates because we don't accommodate. We just work around.
It's a partner.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a struggle. And yeah, you said a lot right there, but with everything we're talking about, there's been times of anxiety. There's been that trying to find purpose. There's thinking about that. And there's also times where it is like, screw this, like this is what I want to do. Yeah. Or peaceful times where you're like, I'm just making music. Mm-hmm. Life like ebbs and flows rather than say like a movie where all of a sudden you get the epiphany and then the end of the movie, like, and life is happily ever after. Like, it's not like that. You get that movie and then next month you're on the next movie and you're on the next conflict or the next show, Yeah. So that's what it is, I come to the point in every project where like it's free flowing and creative and happy. And then there's times where it's stressful, or money could be stressful, right? Money could get tight for a period, or you're doing a house project. You're spending a bunch of money or whatever. Like, life.
Yeah. But you seem quite accepting. Not you come across to me like, again, Goode, and I don't know if your brother's like this, but I don't know if it's a military thing. Maybe it's because I'm a crazy woman. But it's like you're like, okay, this is my plate, and this is my plate, and that's what I got, and I got to navigate it. And all right, let's go do it. Whereas I've met a lot of other people that have been like, oh well, they get, I got to get to this, and I got to get to that, and myself included sometimes. I think because I think sometimes I put a little bit more on the plate, or people put a little bit more on the plate, and I can't seem to say no.
Yeah.
And then that's when I get the, oh my gosh, and then you throw the menopause on top of that, and I'm just like a bat out of hell, and Goode's just like, okay, slow your roll. So you seem to be able to, all right, this is what I got. This is what I'm moving forward with. And like you said, you're a strategic thinker. So maybe I'm not then. Maybe that's my downfall.
No, maybe you are. I can... you don't live with me, so, you could see that. And, of course I want to look cool and calm and collected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not always.
Mm-hmm.
And, I get anxious. I overload my plate.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this conversation with my wife, like in the last couple months. I overload my plate often, overload our plate. But life does carry on, and I do try to keep that perspective. Like, this is on my plate, and how can I handle it? But life doesn't always let you kind of sit back and just keep that vision. Sometimes life sucks you into, throw punches, and you didn't really want to, or you don't.
Something you just said that I think is so profound is because I'm quite selfish when it comes to business. You just said to me, sometimes I overload our plate. I've never thought of it like that.
Well, it's easy. I'm talking to you. We're talking about we keep talking about spousal relationships, right? Being a vet's wife, and me being a vet. So it is staying on our conversation menu. I don't know if I would always say that reference if I was like talking to a guy at work. Maybe I wouldn't have put it that way. But I'm very aware of it while I'm talking to you. We're talking about being a spouse, so having a spouse. So.
But what's crazy about that is because I always think to myself, my shit's all together and I got it, But now, after you've said that, I look back at conversations I've had with Goode, and I think to myself, very selfishly, because I have no balance. I admit it. I think I have balance until my husband gives me that look, and then I realize I got no balance, because I am a all or nothing kind of person. So I've put everything into this, and everything that I need to put into it, any social event that goes around it, I never think of it as, I think it's my plate, it's mine, and really it isn't.
Yeah.
It's mine and Goode's. And I just never thought of it in that aspect. That to me is that's really quite strong. I think that if more people, and I get it. I mean, I've said some really wonderful things to Kim and other people, like, whoa, great shit that I can't even remember after I've said it.
Yeah.
But have I ever said it to Goode? No. And I think it's because you just see your partner in a different way. But I'm going to think more before I take commitments on as to how big is our plate and not just my plate. Because really what's on my plate, my husband's really good at going, hey, give me some of that. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But I just sometimes just pile it on his, kind of like, hey, we I don't think about it. I like that. I like that. I really, that was a.
I'm glad. Well, I'm glad we could think through of something profound here.
Yeah, you've solved all my relationship problems today, Mark. Now back to electric.
On to the next one.
Yes. Let's go back to your band. When are you playing next? Where can people see you? How can people get in touch with you?
So we don't have anything lined up.
Okay.
As I was talking about, like that whole process we've been through, where at the moment we've been working on tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a single comes out next week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I released a single yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's Marc Hansen.
Okay.
There's Marc Hansen albums now. I put one out this year, and now I put a single out. There'll be Electric Mud singles coming out every couple of weeks.
Okay.
And Marc Hansen singles. Again, this is like how I'm trying to keep it going. If Electric Mud's not always here, and how do I still get these creative juices,
Okay.
going and out?
When you say that it's out on Spotify, Apple.
Yep, Spotify,
Okay.
Apple, wherever you stream.
Okay.
You could ask your Alexa. Sometimes you might have to hammer it in a few times, but she'll usually get Electric Mud and Marc Hansen and play our songs. electricmudofficial.com. We have a website. You could email.
Okay.
You could email that, Electric Mud Official. We don't have any gigs lined up. We book gigs here and there, and we'll see what happens in 2026. We've been talking about like if we're going to do anything in spring, summer.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we're just trying to release music so people can listen to music. And yeah, single came out last month with Electric Mud. A single came out this summer with Electric Mud. Got more coming out. Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Listening to our music. I mean, that's like I was saying about is this for me? Is this for other people? Like if people like our music and people listen to our music, then that is my why.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to be my why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's not, but who's going to say it? It's not going to be Simon Sinek, and it's not going to be, like it's my why right now, or my wife and my kids are my why,
I think your whys sometimes change a little bit, like you said earlier on, the ebbs and flows of things, you seem to have a good grasp on this whole balance thing. So I'm going to try this balance thing as well. I mean, my husband is away now for a couple of days, and all I have done is work, because my goal is that when he comes back that I have no work. But in reality, work never finishes. Work never stops, But yeah,
work is good. Like if you like what you're doing too, not in that whole, if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life, all that, but like work is good. We have to work, and it feels good to work at something and feel like you accomplished something. Yeah. Like, I think that's a workaholic, thing. Like you accomplish something and you need to accomplish something else. And I don't think it's all bad. I would have the same perspective if my wife was gone. She went away to hang out with a friend for a couple of days, and task. Even with my kids, it's like, all right, I gotta do all the things she does, and like, that way I can have a window at dinner time to check in with my kids. Yeah. To talk, and like, all right, and then it's back on task. And then at bedtime, can I check in, and like.
Do you find that, are you that kind of person? We spoke earlier on about bringing a lot onto our plates. Are you an overachiever? That's my question.
I hope I'm an overachiever, but I don't feel like an overachiever. I want to be an overachiever. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That's like right in on our conversation. It's like if you're working for yourself, or if you're trying to get something off the ground, or you're trying to do something and you're kind of on your own, you want to be an overachiever because your goal is is success.
Yes.
And that goal of success usually is a vision of a small pool of people.
Yeah.
They must have been overachievers if they're in a small pool because they achieved over everyone else.
Now, I feel like sometimes, I don't know what it is with me, like this morning, God bless Sniper, he's getting old, he took a shit on the cement. Now, so I had to wash all the patio down at the back, and all I could think of, quite honestly, was Goode is going to spot that ring of shit from like 6 miles away. So, I had the scrubbing brush out, and then I was like, okay, we got to do the whole patio now. And I'm saying to myself in my head, I got to interview Mark, but they've got shit on the cement, right? So, and my son called me this morning. I went, Jake, I got to do this, I got to do that. And he went, Mom, you don't have to. And to me, it's the more I can get done every day, knocked out. I don't know if I'm achieving anything. Like, I feel like I am, but I don't know, you know. But I just got to keep going. And what worries me more than anything else about me is there was a famous basketball coach, I can't remember, I think it might have been John Wooden, that made some comment along the lines of, hey, there's a lot of movement, but not a lot of productivity. And so sometimes I ask myself, am I just doing a lot of movement and shit ain't happening?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for me because, again, I feel like I should have been in the military, really, because I feel like, okay, it should be
good. You'd be good.
And it's not going like that, and it just gets a little mushed together and gets overcomplicated. That's what it becomes, overcomplicated. And then I find myself feeling disappointed in myself because the list of 500 things I did to do today, I only got to number 30. And then I'm like, God damn, Surinder, you got to work more. And I don't know whether that's just I don't know if that's an upbringing thing. I don't know how to control that. So I'm just telling you that because now I feel like you're my counselor.
Oh, that's like, what is happiness? And I think it's different for people.
Yeah.
You could kind of figure it out for yourself because whatever pings your interest and resonates with you, you're like, oh, so But balance for me is, like, I'll backtrack a little bit on what I said about overachieving. Like, the goal is to not look at making music that way, right? I'm not trying to look at it that way because that is what hinders me from doing the thing I love, doing it how I love it. Got to have balance. At the end of the day, building that space to hang out with my wife, take a date with my wife, sit and play my guitar and not worry about anything. Like, that's super important to me. So I don't know, I think I lost a little bit of track there, but productivity and overachieving, I think, can still be done with balance.
Yeah.
Actually, you need good balance to be an overachiever. From every book I've read, from anybody who's like succeeded in a big way, like, they figure out a lot of things about life that's more than just work. So to be an overachiever, you got to find balance, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to start overachieving soon because I'm going to find that balance. That's going to be my goal. And I'm no longer going to load our plate. Good, no more loading, I'm going to think twice about that. Mark, it has been good to talk to you today. It's been great to have you over in the Goode Man Cave. And
Thanks for having me.
Electric Mud, Marc Hansen, Spotify, Apple, all your favorite streaming platforms, the whole 9 yards. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to The Goode Show. I hope you have been inspired by today's conversation. If you loved what you heard, help us spread the word. Follow me on Instagram @The Goode Show.